Vitoli? Vitelli. You would like to make a public comment, is that correct?
I want to talk about, hopefully after you talk about that land protection, the park protection, hopefully I can do it after that, because I don't really know what your discussion on that is.
Okay, so the cadence of the board meeting is usually we would take your public comment. Our discussion or our opening of the public hearing of the Property Protection Act or Property Protection Initiative, that is under old business, so we'll be discussing it like 6 items down on the agenda. But if you want to provide us your comments and your thoughts on it beforehand, we would be more than happy to hear them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. She can do it now, or she can have comments after you've read your introductory statement when you open it up as a public hearing also, Margaret.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yes, I'm going to read this introductory statement, and then after that, then I'll ask for public comment, and then you can make it then two. I didn't know that, but I know that right now. Okay. Okay, we'll just keep eye contact going, so when the time arises, we'll coordinate, okay? Same? Okay. Okay. Excellent. Oh. Now on? Would you like it on now? That was just a practice one. So we would love to hear your public comment about the Property Protection Initiative when we open the public hearing. Okay. Still, now it's on now. Technical difficulties. Okay. The next item on our agenda is we have a presentation from our finance director, Jill Lamoureux, to present our annual financial comprehensive report, which is audited financial statements with a lot of narrative.
Yes.
Yeah, I am very happy to be presenting. I didn't want to screw up wanted to introduce Allison's life with Clifton Larson Allen. I believe, how many years you've audited? Several?
Yeah, I was like.
Now, but my first year working with them, and so her team, Allison and her team were wonderful and patient and knowledgeable and responsive, so it was an absolute pleasure to work with them, especially being so new to the district and everything going on. So I'll let Allison take it. If you guys have questions, she or I can certainly answer.
Thank you. All right, hi everyone. Good to see you all again, and so excited to present the results here in terms of the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or ACFR is one of the many acronyms that we have in the finance and accounting world. So I think you all have the issued versions in here. I'll just kind of cover some highlights from the actual document if you have that in front of you, and then there are 2 other letters that are on CLA letterhead that are addressed to the board, so I'll just cover some highlights in there as well. So feel free if there's any questions or anything I can help address during the discussion, feel free to jump in and we can pause and address those. So as Jill mentioned, we have been working on the audit for the past several months, and so it is a big lift to be able to get this issued. We are really excited that we did get this issued on time and well ahead of the deadline, which is the end of this month for submission of the actual ACFR to Government Finance Officers Association, which is GFOA, which is kind of an oversight entity. The district's able to submit that for an award, basically. So that will be done, and so excited to be able to get this back on track and issued on time. If you remember, we have been delayed the past few years, but Jill and the team did a great job for us to get to this point. So did want to give kudos in terms of the timeliness and getting everything done well ahead of the deadline. So the page I was going to cover, and I'll just mention from a hard copy standpoint, it's right after page 10 if you have it hard copy. If not, I'll just highlight. This is the independent auditor's report. So this is our ultimate opinion over the financial statements for the district for the year ended December 31st, 2025. You do present comparative financials, so you do have comparison 24 numbers. So the most important part is kind of at the second paragraph of this opinion, where it does say we have an unmodified or clean opinion, which is the best opinion that an entity can receive. So did want to congratulate the district on achieving that again this year. Otherwise, within the audit opinion, it does just talk about what management's responsible for, what we as auditors are responsible for, and some other items about the financials. So just wanted to mention that was, again, a successful end result for the audit. The other, a couple other aspects, I guess I'll just cover real high level because this is a large document. To call to mind the management discussion and analysis, or MD&A section, which follows right after our audit opinion on page 15 of the hard copy. And this is a really good summary of changes that happen year over year. So if you're looking for more of a couple page summary in terms of the historical activities, this is written by management. It has narrative. It also has future looking information from an economic standpoint at the end. So again, if you don't want to read the many pages of this, you can look at that summary page. Page 22 starts the statement of net position or balance sheet for the district. So this is really where the bulk of the audit efforts focus on being able to test these balances, test the financial statements, which are the next several pages. You have a statement of revenues, expenses, and changes, which is basically the income statement for the district, and statement of cash flows to show that cash position at year end. And then you have lots of pages after that, starting on page 26 of disclosures. So that's all the footnotes around the financial statements. So all your major accounting policies, all the information around cash, investments, capital assets, debt, a lot of different pages that summarize all the kind of narrative around the numbers. So that's really the rest of the financials there. And then towards the back, if you go all the way to page 46, that's supplementary information. So this shows the adopted budget that you all certainly were a part of from a board perspective versus actual. So that's also presented as supplementary information. And then the last section of the ACFR is all statistical information. So that is not audited, as it's a lot of kind of more qualitative information in there, but it does show a really good 10-year historical look back for a lot of aspects around the district. So if you're curious about different trends or even non-financial numbers, that has a lot of information back there. So that's a real quick highlight of the ACFR. Any questions or anything that you would like me to address before I cover a couple highlights from the letters?
On page 23,
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a conversation with Yvonne and Jill is property and other taxes listed in other non-operating revenues.
Down at the bottom there, yep, I see that, yep. Mhm.
It just seems to be a mismatch to me because the expenses associated with the parks that the property taxes are used for, so on, the expenses are up above in operating expenses.
Mhm.
So it seemed like it'd be a better match if you had the revenues up there that you're collecting, and then how you spend the money down in operating expenses. So if there's any, again, check the accounting literature and guidance of getting property and other taxes up in revenues to better match with the expenses that would fall below it. That just seems to make more sense to me. Again, the other items under non-operating revenues, interest expense, interest income, joint venture, sale capital assets, those are the normal things I would expect to see down there. It's just the government one, revenue seems to be a mismatch compared to where the expenses are.
Totally valid point. Unfortunately, GASB does not agree with that because this is the presentation of Governmental Accounting Standards Board does dictate what needs to be shown as non-operating versus operating. I will say for next year, though, GASB has issued a new statement that is going to address this a little bit more, and there is going to be some different categorical changes. I don't think it'll address that one, but there is going to be some changes coming with the income statement, specifically with what the district has. So they're trying to have better transparency and financial reporting kind of updates, but this is the presentation that for GFOA and being able to report under GAAP and GASB, that is the presentation. So valid question, though, for sure. I can understand that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
The one comment I would make is I would like to call out the letter of transmittal. The letter that Jill Lamoureux wrote in the transmittal was very informative, very well done. I look at these annual comprehensive financial reports a lot, and one of the more impressive letters of transmittal of what has been happening here, so thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, and that's starting on page 2, right at the front there. Yep, thank you. All right, so I'll just cover real briefly the 2 other letters that are addressed to the board. We are, as just a reminder, as the external auditors, we are directly engaged to perform the audit with you all. So we entered into an agreement, many months ago, and this is basically the summary communications that were required under audit standards to communicate to you all. So the one of them, if you happen to have it, says Board of Directors at the top. The middle kind of says significant audit findings and issues, qualitative aspects, if you see that letter there. But I'll just cover some of the highlights if you don't have it in front of you. So this really summarizes any sort of major changes or things that might have happened during the year. There was a new accounting standard put out by GASB, by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, statement number 102 around risk disclosures. So there was additional analysis and discussions we had to have with management to figure out if that had any sort of material impact for the district. It did not, but that was just part of the diligence of making sure the financial statements were complete and in accordance with GASB requirements. So that's kind of at the middle of the page. Otherwise, the rest of the pages just kind of summarize, kind of bullet point items. It does, let's see, yeah, really all of this is very similar to the prior years. No sorts of disagreements with management in terms of how things are treated or reported. All very kind of standard items that we have disclosed in that letter. And then attached to that letter, we do have a copy of the management management representation letter. And so that's a letter that we do get signed by management before we can release our report. Basically, it's management letting us know that they provided us all the support we asked for. They let us know if there's any litigation going on, kind of a lot of check the box items. And so that does get received, before we can issue our final report. So that's, really everything that was attached there. Excuse me, we did, let's see, I just want to make sure I highlight it. There was one more separate letter here. Let me get my binder clip off here. That's really just a best practice letter, I'll say. So if we were to have any sort of material weaknesses or significant deficiencies related to the audit, we would report those in this letter. We did not have those items, so that's a large improvement from the prior years. We did just have some best practice recommendations. So this letter is, again, addressed to the board and management. It just talks about other deficiencies in internal control or other matters, kind of at the middle of the page if you have that. But these are just best practice items that we noted around correcting some smaller dollar amounts, so not hugely material items, but software subscriptions and compensated absences, as well as a few other items with the ACFR that we did work with the team to get those corrected. So the financial statements that were issued are materially correct. Those are just some items that we did assist with throughout the process. So again, a large improvement though compared to past years in terms of fairly minor findings in the grand scheme of things compared to the past. So did want to give kudos for all the hard work that the district took over this past year. That was really everything I wanted to formally communicate, but happy to address any other questions or comments the board might have.
Allison, I have a couple
Yeah,
questions
please. Sure.
and comments. First off, I am not a trained financial person or an accountant.
Yep.
But I've worked with a lot of budget sheets and budgets and looking through things. And I really thought your report was very comprehensive, very thorough. It made a lot of sense. Didn't seem like you missed anything, which was really good. And Jill, of course, too, for helping with that. I did notice that we missed an Emma date that was due in October, that we didn't get it in until March. Is that a big deal? Is it not a big deal?
Can I get the dates right so that
Oh, sure,
we
yeah.
have the, so the.
Go ahead. Mhm, yep.
What it says is continuing disclosure. During our review of continuing disclosure compliance related to the revenue bonds and COPs, we noted that the 2024 annual comprehensive financial report was submitted on February 7th, 2026, which was after the deadline of 9/30/2025. We noted the notice of failure to file was provided to the district on 3/18/2026. We recommend that the district implement a procedure to ensure that the ACFR is submitted timely to Emma. So I think that's what you're referring to, right?
That is what I'm referring
okay.
to, but the question I asked of Allison was, is that substantial or is that just something that we can fix pretty easily?
I'm certainly not going to pretend to be an Emma expert. You actually might be able to share more with some of your past role. But the filing is basically related to like bonds and kind of the bond covenants that are related to that. So I mean the biggest start is to make sure that you filed it and that notice to failure was addressed, I guess I would say, and making sure that doesn't continue. So I wouldn't foresee that happening in the future. I don't think there was any repercussions from a district standpoint. I'm not aware of that, but.
No,
yeah.
just as an information piece, so this was actually discovered when we were working on our bond financing this past year, so I think it was actually the bond attorneys that found this out. So there were not any repercussions, Warren. What we have done for corrective measure is add this to our annual compliance calendar that we've talked with you guys about before, so it was an oversight that didn't happen the previous year. It's been filed, it's updated. Jill has it on her list now that those are updated every year, but it really relates more to anybody who's holding bonds for the district or looking at the district as a possible investment. That's what that filing, the repository is for.
Yeah, I had assumed that you guys were on top of it now, so great, that's good. I also have a question on, it looked like you had some commentary on, and this was on page 18 of this hard copy I had. It was actually page 21 in my booklet that was sent to me, on operating revenues for 25, 24, and 23. It really looks like, and I read it, that we had, Adventure Golf did pretty well, Ice Center did pretty well, restaurant maybe not as well, the fitness center maybe not as well, but probably the big drivers of our revenue were Waterworld and the golf course, and both of those performed very well, and we were able to show positive gains for Waterworld. I believe it was 9 million about, and in the golf courses it was close to 2 million, 1.9 million. So that we've done a really good job with those two enterprise funds.
And I want to make sure that everyone understands in those enterprise funds, or the way that that information was presented in the ACFR, is it only includes the operating expenses. It doesn't include capital expenditures that we had on those two facilities, nor does it include the administrative costs that we incur from those two facilities. So it's strictly operational.
I think that's correct for page 18 that you were referencing. Yeah, that's
Right.
just operating. That's correct, Rachel. Okay, yep. Mhm. Okay. Anything else? Anything I missed or you wanted to cover? Okay. Sounds good. Yes, it is, yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your very hard work.
Thank you.
And all the information that you shared and your comments.
Thank you.
And working with the team. We all appreciate it.
Thank you. No, me as well. And yeah, we love the partnership we have with the district. And certainly if there's any follow-up questions, happy to address those at a later date. But thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Margaret, real quick, and I just want to make a comment too. I want to thank Allison for coming to number one, but for you and your team for this being Jill's first year of being thrown into this. You guys were amazingly helpful, as you always have been. But I know Jill appreciates it. I'm so appreciative to Jill to get this, to come into a brand new place and get this turned around this quickly. And I hope that you all notice the improvements she made in the actual document as well. So my thanks to both of you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Now, moving on, we have Deputy Director Brown, who's going to present Valheim to us and give us an overview of the Greg Mastriano Golf Course.
Can I get up now? You sure can. All right. Good evening, everyone. I think you all know Val. He's here tonight to talk about golf, all things golf on our golf courses, and to present kind of what's going on over there, his philosophies, and how we are doing business. So Val's been with the district over 25 years, worked his way up through 27, there you go. Worked his way up to the pro shop and is now the GM at the golf facility. So.
Okay, thank you, Director Brown. Good evening, everyone. As Alan said, I'm here to present, this is off to a good start. I'm here to present the Greg Mastriano Golf Courses at Hyland Hills. So, Nicole, could you, the next slide, or am I doing that? That's okay. Oh, I got it, thank you. Okay, so Just a quick overview of the facility. 45-hole golf facility. We have 2 practice greens, practice driving range that's lighted, 20,000 square foot putting green, and a full-service restaurant and bar that is open year-round, 364 days. We do have Christmas off, so that's good. Guest service, always a high priority, staple of any successful business, so that's definitely something that we have a high priority in. We're always getting training from admin and also in the pro shop through the PGA of America, so again, that's a high priority. Blue Course renovation project, obviously that's a focal point right now, as all of you are aware. Number 3, tee box is now open, sodded and open. We're hoping to get number 7, which has been sodded in the approach area in the green, open very soon. 8 tee box and 2 green complex are going to hopefully be open at some point this year. So we're excited about that project. GPS, pace of play policies and procedures. So the GPS is very important. It allows us to track pace of play in conjunction with our pace of play policies, allows us to send messages to the golfers. And, you know, the gold standard is 4.5 hours on the gold course. That's what we strive for. Pace of play has always been a challenge with golf and always will, but we feel like with the GPS and the pace of play policies and procedures we have in place on the website that are comprehensive, this allows us to get closer to that benchmark consistently.
Printed copies of those pace of play?
I'm sorry, Margaret?
Do we have printed copies of the pace of play policies?
Well,
it
is on the website,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't bring it with me.
No, I'm
but-
just wondering in case there was somebody who's not
Yes.
following, we could give them, hand
Well,
it to them.
if you can go to the website right now, if you have your phone, and go straight to Paul's, it's second drop down from the experience
Yeah, I'm
pace of
saying
play.
those who don't go to the website but should go to the website, we would just give, just.
You mean like at the facility?
Yeah.
Like there,
Yeah, she wants to hand them out to people that are slow.
Yes,
that's a fantastic idea. Yes, that's actually a good idea. It is pretty comprehensive, as far as like handing it out. I mean, it would have to, you know, if we shrunk it down, you know what I mean? But
you could just put the summary points on the top.
well, yeah, that's a good point. And if you do go to the pace of play policies and procedures, you will see that we do have a recommended top 10 for pace of play, just things that everybody can do themselves to help with the pace. And at the forefront of that is simply keep up with the group in front of you. If you can do that, that will definitely help pace of play to begin with. So, okay, moving into the 24-hour no-show cancellation policy and procedure. This was just initiated June 2nd. Obviously, changing from what we had done in the past to an online-only booking for tee times. There's going to be a transition there. So things are going well. We have updated the website, obviously, with the policy and procedure, but also we have things that have come up that we've since updated, actually shortly thereafter when we initiated from June 2nd. So we feel that the website and the booking engine has all the information needed. We even had our Golf Now rep, who's helped tremendously. She added a link that has the instructions on how to book and modify a tee time at the bottom, along with all the other features that we have that will help everyone transition smoothly. Okay. Moving on, PGA Junior League. Last year, we were the 2025 regional champs. Super proud. That's a big deal. This is a new team, obviously 2026. So we wish them the best. But I just wanted to highlight that. That was quite an accomplishment. Our regular programs, which we're real proud of, obviously listed all there. Ladies' Night Out is every other Thursday. Memorial Day through, or actually it's May through August, sorry. Glow Golf is once a month, May through August. Nine and Dine is basically Memorial Day to Labor Day, Monday through Wednesday, after 2 on the blue course. Prime rib Wednesday is Labor Day to Memorial Day, every Wednesday. Friday night music is every first Friday of every month of the year round. And Wednesday night music is the third Wednesday, that's right, third Wednesday of every month from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So those are great programs.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the demand like for ladies' night out, low golf, 9 and dime? Like those, are they selling out, or they're vacant spots? What kind of demand?
Well, it's a very high demand, very popular programs. And we were able to get you signed up, by the way. So a spot did open up yesterday. So that should probably answer the question, but yes,
And
it's.
that's customary, like that's not just.
Yeah, Ladies Night Out has been a popular program since the beginning. I mean, it's been around for a long time, over 10 years, so it's always sold out.
And glow golf too.
Glow Golf, last year, it was sold out. This year, May was a little, wasn't quite sold out.
Because it snowed.
That could have something to do with it. Yeah, May was obviously cooler, so we're thinking that's probably what it was. So we're looking at June, July and August probably to be full, so. Any other questions with the programs?
Val, I just have a
Yeah.
question. I know it's still early.
Yeah.
The 24-hour no-show policy, are you getting inundated with requests for refunds because they've missed it? Or we're tracking that, of course, right?
Well,
How many people miss and
yeah.
how many are sending you that request, and how much time you're taking to work that through? And I know whatever it is, it'll get better, but how's it going so far?
Well, would you want to clarify your definition of inundated?
I can let you do that. I would think if you're working on
Well,
three.
it's all a matter of perspective, Warren.
That's right.
For me,
I think if you're working on 3 of those a day,
Yeah.
that's quite a bit, and it's
Yeah.
taking you away from
It's
what
a
you
good-
might want to be doing.
Yeah, it's a
but-
good question. It's a good question, and, you know, we anticipated, obviously, the first 2-3 weeks are probably gonna be more than we're expecting, so I don't think it's fair to judge exactly right now, but there is quite a few to start because of the transition over to the online-only booking, so we do have quite a few. But I am able to fulfill my other duties.
Well, I'm sure you can.
With expedited
If there's
fashion.
anybody on that list that I can respond to instead of you, just let me know.
Thank you, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so I also put 50-plus scheduled tournaments, just to summarize that. Great venue, great price, great value. We are a preferred destination for tournaments on the Front Range with our facility, so that continues to be a strong aspect of what we're doing, so.
And just so I understand, those tournaments are really in support of not-for-profits in our neighborhood, or like, is that who is doing the tournaments, or who are these? Because if it's a great value, I'm hopeful that it's because we're supporting not-for-profits.
Oh, yeah, the value is in the facility for outside events to come to the golf course. And to my knowledge, we don't have any restrictions on what tournaments are coming to the golf course. We facilitate every single event that wants to have a tournament, as long as, of course, they follow the policies and procedures and sign the contract and the deposit and so forth, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Margaret, there is a discount, though, if you're a nonprofit.
Yeah, thank you, Warren. That is correct. Monday through Thursday, we do have a discount, a 10% discount for, I gotta be a 5-0.
Yeah, so like
Tax
the Rotary
exempt,
tournament coming up
503.
qualifies for that because we're a,
Yeah, if you have the
Nonprofit,
certification, if you're
501c3.
authorized, you get a discount Monday through
Yeah.
Thursday. Thank you, Warren. That is correct, yeah.
Okay, so we support the nonprofits in our community.
We do.
Via the discount.
Yes, I
Okay.
apologize. That's correct. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Warren. Let's see. Okay. So transitioning, excuse me, into the financial performance and budgeting, 2026 golf revenue expense budget remains solid and steady. I'm very pleased with where we're at right now. We're tracking very nicely. Budget management, of course, a high priority. Course improvement investments, which, shows that we're putting money back into the community with the Blue Course renovation project. Gold Course new tees on 13 and 16. Also, we re-solidified the pond edge with sheet pilings, put a nice split rail fence up there, new cart path and berm. So we're putting money back into the facility. So definitely thought that was relevant. The next one I'm particularly proud of, Cottonwood Lodge revenue expense budget is on pace for a net profit in 2026. We've taken the last 3 years, kind of looked at it with the experience we've had and, kind of formulated a solid business plan. So we're real excited for the future of Cottonwood Lodge. And April of 2026, we made $10,987.10, but who's counting?
That's excellent work, and if it's any of the weddings that I've seen that
Oh,
are
yeah,
out there,
definitely.
they are fabulous and beautiful. It's
Thank you, Mark. Yes,
excellent.
the Cottonwood team is really doing a great job. We're expanding on weddings and parties and everything else. So I'm very excited to see, how the rest of the year shapes out, but it's looking good so far, so.
And thank you for being so fiscally conscious. I do appreciate it.
Indeed. Okay, so if you see, I have a little reflection on pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID as far as golf rounds are. So 2019, we were averaging roughly 400 rounds a day. During COVID, 2020, we were averaging 850 rounds a day. And there were some days where we were over 1,000 rounds. We were very busy, but we were proud to serve the community because we knew golf was at the forefront, obviously, during COVID. So, and then 2020 to present, we're averaging 600 rounds a day. So if you look at the percentage variance rounds increase from 2019 to 2020, that's 112.5% increase, which is significant. And then the percentage variance rounds increase from 2019 to the present is 33% increase, which is still substantial. So the golf industry, thankfully, is still doing well. A lot of people that started playing in COVID, during COVID, have continued to play golf. So we're happy about that.
What is the not the maximum, but the average round? So the course was very stressed and maxed out with COVID at 850 rounds. At 600 average daily 600 average daily rounds, what can the golf course support reasonably per day?
That's a good question. I mean, with our agronomy team, our maintenance team, they do a great job. They've got all the tools that they need to keep the golf courses in great shape. And we went to 10-minute rounds. I think in 2018, we went to 10-minute intervals, which spaces it out so it's not getting overrun. Because Director Brown pointed out, when I started in '99, we were, I believe, I could be mistaken, but I think we were going 8-9. So we had 8-minute intervals, 9-minute intervals, 8-9, 8-9. So we were getting more people on the course. However, the business model, of golf or the golf itself was not sustained as well as it is now. So we were able to go to 10 minutes for that very reason, to help keep the golf courses in good shape. But if you go max capacity with 10-minute intervals, it is over 1,000 rounds. So 600 is fine. 1,000 would be really difficult right now, for all three courses, yeah. But it's possible. I mean, we're not turning anyone away. So we're still growing. The game's still growing. Hyland Hills is at the forefront of golf in the Front Range, with our facility being as unique as it is. We have, the 45 holes, like I mentioned earlier. We've got the 4 different courses. So we have something for every skill level. So the future is bright for Hyland Hills, with especially Hyland Hills Golf Course and Hyland Hills, but Hyland Hills in general, with our prime location and also our great price point and value, so.
Excellent, thanks.
So
Yes.
Val, you say the future's bright. You're not thinking of putting lights on the course, right? That way we could get to 1,000 rounds really easy if we
that
had
would-
night golf.
That would expedite it, yes. Yes, it would. Okay, so collective values and goals. You know, I wanted to mirror Highland Hills values because, I mean, I believe in these values, and I voted for almost all these. So I'm happy to you know, tie in the golf course with the Highland Hills values. So the community building, improving, and growing together. So, you know, listening to our community, feedback from the community, and reinvesting back into the golf courses like the Blue Course renovation project, for example. Excellence, exceeding expectations with exceptional service. That speaks for itself. That's where it starts for us. Exceptional service is is paramount right at the top, as well as excellent products, prices, and value. Integrity, building foundations of trust through our actions. That speaks for itself. Having, clear, fair dealings with everyone, having clear policies and procedures that benefit everyone as well. Safety, obviously safety responsibly, protecting ourselves and others, that's the number one priority. Guest and staff safety alike is our number one priority. Service, the community's happiness is our success. We're trying to provide world-class golfing and dining experiences for everyone. That's our goal. And teamwork, we accomplish goals better by working together. With the golf course departments working together, we can accomplish all of our goals collectively. Okay, current and future strategic initiatives. Again, just wanted to highlight the Blue Course renovation project being a high priority. We're looking to get holes 7, 3 tee boxes already open, 8 and 2 open this year, and then we have plans for the year after that, and I believe in 29 too. But it's a very exciting project. The community is thrilled. It's looking great out there. We did complete number 1 green in 2025 as well. I forgot to mention that. 24-hour cancellation and no-show policy. Again, it's at the forefront right now. It's a big change, going from how we were booking tee times to online only. But I think, with the tee sheet being accessible and minimizing lost green fee revenue, I think it's going to end up being a good thing down the road. Blue House restroom renovation, I believe that's at the forefront this year, I believe. And then the practice facility renovation, that's going to be probably a couple years out, but we're excited about that potential there too. So, and that concludes my presentation. Is there any questions? Or are there any questions? Is there a question? Some of that inundated stuff's taken over, Warren.
Val, thanks for everything you do. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you. I wanted to thank not only, Alan and Yvonne, but also the board. I truly want to thank you for everything you do for all of us. It's really much appreciated, so thank you very much.
Thank you for taking the time to come to us and preparing the presentation. It's very insightful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Excellent. So our next presentation is Deputy Director Beck, Matt Henrietta.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce Matt Henrietta to you as our new recreation manager. Matt comes to us with tons of experience in recreation, managing facilities and programs over the course of his career. So we are lucky to have him. He started a couple weeks ago and has already had a big impact on the organization and leading his team. So I'll turn it over to Matt, let him introduce himself.
Good evening, distinguished board members. For those of you I've met, it's nice to see you again. For those who I haven't met, it's great to meet you for the first time. Thank you for the opportunity to do so. My name, as Skylar mentioned, is Matt Henrietta. I'm the Recreation General Manager, but I think for me, like first of all, more importantly, I am a district resident. I have lived here for 13 years. My kids participate in the programs that we offer and at the facilities that we run, and they've been hugely important to me and my family. So one, thank you for those facilities and those opportunities. Yep, as Skylar mentioned, I have a pretty long history in recreation, and I'm really honored to be able to bring that to the Highland Hills District. If you have any questions about my background, I'd love to answer them.
What's the first thing you're excited to do for Highland Hills?
You know, I really am excited to meet the team. I think meeting the team, and then we have a couple vacancies, so I'm excited to bring new people into the team and make a cohesive unit that we can just collaborate and help grow our programming, make our facilities better, and really serve the community. I think there's some low-hanging fruit, and I'm really excited to tackle that stuff. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
Nice.
Thank you. Have a great
I met
evening.
Matt well, I saw Matt yesterday this morning at the gym.
Yeah, this
That's
morning.
right.
Yep.
And so your office is at the fitness center?
Yeah, my office is I think I have the best office in the district. Just keep that on the down low.
Keep that on the down low?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come and meet us and answer any questions we might have.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next item is, I'm looking for a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the April 2026 Treasurer's Report as presented.
I second.
I have a request or a question, if nobody else does. So I look at this report all the time, and I get out my little magnifying glass, and I go through it.
Small.
And I always get to capital investments, and I get to capital investments, and I go, oh, 24 million remaining, what's included in that? And I go, I know some of it's water world, but I wonder what the rest is. And so I'm wondering, is there anywhere we could have just like a bullet points or summary that says,
Yes.
10 million is for water world, 4 million is for the golf course, 1 million is for adventure golf, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Absolutely. I'm happy to add that and put a tracker on that as well, like we track the Water World projects. So the Capital Projects Committee meets regularly, so I'll just add that in. No problem.
I would really like that. How much of the 24 million is water world?
20.
Okay,
20, wow.
okay.
But that is the remaining. So we have already done some capital improvements across the district as well. So
Yeah.
I will get you a nice little,
And it just
handout
super
for that.
high level, just
Yep.
to say, here are the properties that we're investing our capital into.
So Margaret, we can certainly just put it in your board folder. So this was all detailed out during the budget cycle, so you all have a list of all of the 2026 budgeted projects, but we can easily just do a summary copy and get that for your folders, just so you have it for quick reference.
And you're absolutely right. It is almost impossible to go back to them and reconcile, so.
No problem.
Excellent, that's my request, that's it.
okay, yeah,
So
I just
far?
wanted to highlight on this, you have a revised report, which actually breaks out the bond revenues a little bit differently, so it doesn't skew kind of the net. And so this is the first treasurer report that actually reflects the bond issuance and the supplemental budget resolution and the defeasance of the 2016 bonds. So that is kind of something to highlight on this report. And then there's a few other kind of key metrics. I wanted to point out that recreation is 16% over last year, year-to-date, which is great to see. And if you look at the preliminary May enterprise revenues, we are trending very strong. Waterworld had a great opening, so people are not waiting for the new section to open. They're still coming in. We had great weather compared to last year, and so I think Waterworld is up 11% over 2024. 2025 is not a great comparison because of the number of weather's days, but, so we are trending up. The per capita is a little bit soft, but that's to be expected in this economy and not down by any concerning level, so very excited.
Memorial Day being as early as possible in May instead of being like May 30th, 31st. It was what, the
It was busy,
24th or something like that.
and it was
So
decent weather, so
you had an
it was a
extra
great
5 days
Memorial
of
Day.
revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a strong opening, so great to see.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions from the board? All those in favor of approving the treasurer's report, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I am looking for a motion to approve the board minutes from May.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District approve the minutes of the board meeting of May 12th, 2026 as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the board minutes, say aye.
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 Motion passes. I'm not saying, well, we did have communication and correspondence to the board, but it was in relation to the Property Protection Initiative, and we'll cover that during the public hearing. Otherwise, there was no other communication or correspondence to the board that I'm aware of. Anybody else?
No.
Okay. With that, we're moving on to our Executive Director report and update. Yvonne?
Thank you, Madam President. So you have my summary report for June in there. You know, a couple of highlights. We discussed the status of the Waterworld construction project in our study session, which we're getting excited. We wish it was already done, but we certainly are getting excited and are very pleased with what the project is shaping up to be. So we will look forward to dialing that in and opening that sooner rather than later, but we'll keep you posted on that. But in spite of that, I will huge compliment to Bob and JR and their team at Waterworld. You know, they opened the rest of the park very seamlessly around a construction project, including a large chunk of parking lot that was unavailable on opening weekend. So I just am very grateful to Bob and JR and the team. They've done a great job. The kids are doing great. Like Jill said, we're off to a great start financially. So looking forward to a strong season, which we think is going to be a huge boost when this project is done soon. So I'm excited about that. And really excited to have Matt here with the team. So Matt didn't mention it, but Matt and Bob and I actually met a year before when Matt came to us as a parent of one of our programs, and we had some good discussions then. So I will tell you, a very class act for him to come and talk to us as a fellow recreation professional, and had some good discussions with them. So super excited about the energy he's bringing to the department and look forward to what they're going to do as a team. So thank you for coming tonight, Matt. And beyond that, I'm happy to, and I'm sorry, one last thing to point out, you'll see on your report, the last item is that we have been recommended by the Adams County Grant, Open Space Grant Committee for full funding of all 3 grant requests we turned in, for a total of just under $4 million with this cycle. So very grateful to the team, Skylar, Kelly, Alan, Bob, everybody working on those requests. We've been very, very successful. So excited about those additional projects that we can work on now.
As a taxpayer, I just want to say thank you very much, Skylar. Any questions for Yvonne? Comments? Hearing none, thank you for that update, appreciate it. Moving on to the legal report. Allison, would you like to give us a summary?
Sure thing. It was a quiet month. I'm happy to report. Just contracts, really. So nothing big and splashy, which is good.
Excellent. Do any other board members have questions of Allison? Okay, moving on. Okay. I do not see any old business. So our next order of business is the Property Protection Initiative discussion. and I need to open the public hearing. So, here I go. Good evening. As we enter the public hearing this evening, I would like to provide a summary of our property protection initiative and the proposed deed restrictions on the Waterworld and Adventure Golf and Raceway properties. Did I open that properly, Ellison? The public hearing?
Well, you need to add the part that you're opening the public hearing.
And now, okay. The purpose of these proposed deed restrictions is to protect these properties for future generations and preserve them for public recreational use. The board believes these spaces are valuable public assets, and any significant change to their use or ownership should involve the voice of the community. The deed restrictions will restrict the use of these properties to their current use and any other public use that is permitted under Colorado law for park and recreation districts. They are designed to provide long-term protection while still allowing the district to meet normal operational needs. Once adopted, any change of the use or future sale of the properties would require voter approval, ensuring that these properties remain protected for years to come unless otherwise determined by the voters. Transparency is of utmost importance to the board, and the board wants community input on the deed restrictions before we consider them for approval. To that end, notice of tonight's public hearing was published in the Westminster Window on May 14th, 2026, and information about the hearing was posted on the district's social media channels. In addition, district staff has created a web page with information about the Property Protection Initiative, and the summer activity guide included a QR code linked to this web page. Members of the public can submit comments on the web page, and I'm pleased to report that as of June 8th, we have received over 50 written comments. In the interest of time, we will not read these comments tonight. We read them at the last public hearing, but the comments will be entered into the record as part of the public hearing tonight. Of the comments that we received after the last public hearing and up to June 8th, we received 29 comments. And 24 of the comments were fully supportive, and 5 of the comments required more info. I will now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public who would like to make a public comment on the Property Protection Initiative? I would like to call up Cynthia Vitelli, and if you could please provide us your address when you come up, that would be great.
Hi. I'm Cynthia Vitale. I live at 7942 Tejon Street, which is right next to Clear Lake Park. And when I saw that information about the protection of those two parks, I was wondering why you didn't afford that to all your parks. So I'm in favor of protecting your parks, but also protecting all of them. And what stood out for me is that I had someone in my neighborhood canvassing the land, telling me he was doing something for some reason, which wasn't real, because I got on the phone and called the organizations he said he was a part of, and he wasn't. So I was concerned he was a developer or someone working for a developer looking for vacant land to develop on. May not have been. It didn't matter. What came up for me is that I didn't want to lose the park. So I would like for you to include other land other than just those two parks.
If you were at our public study session today, the first two properties that we're including are Waterworld and Adventure Golf. It's not meant to exclude anything else. It's an iterative process, And we will also be considering and including the flagship parks. Clear Creek Valley Park has been identified by the board as an asset that we would want to
And this is-
include in this initiative. And so after we do Water World and Adventure Golf, then we'll have another public hearing, and in that public hearing, Clear Creek Valley Park will be included.
And I'm talking about Clear Lake. Clear Lake is a tiny little park.
Oh,
with
Clear
just-
Lake.
With very
Okay.
few amenities, but it's a gorgeous little park. It's very relaxing, and I've been going to it since 2018, and every year more people are using it. So it's becoming more of an asset for the community. And I just don't want to see any of it go away.
Understood. We did not talk about Clear Lake Park, but like I said, this is an iterative process, and we're going through all the properties and identifying what that would be. So,
Right. Is there any way I could ask what the criteria is? I mean, I understand those two major ones because they're an investment and they bring resources into the park system. But when you get to parks that don't bring resources in, what would be your criteria for wanting to protect those?
so our,
If
Should
that's
I-
the right word.
Yeah, I'll jump in here, Margaret,
okay,
if you
yeah,
don't mind.
we
So-
have criteria.
So the board did discuss, prior to this meeting tonight, as Margaret said, this is kind of a phased project with Adventure Golf and Water World being the first two that we dove into as part, this is a brand-new initiative for the district, overall, the entire district. So anyways, we started with the first two properties that were basically kind of the easiest for us to make sure that we understood how the process was going to go, and primarily to make sure that there would be public support for this type of initiative, which we have shown overwhelmingly that there is. So the next phase, we have a list of properties, which again, we're kind of looking at the biggest properties, the flagship properties. That'll be the next phase, which will likely be done before the end of the year. And then while that phase is happening, the board is then going to continue and go every single park by park, and decide whether they would be included in the initiative. My guess is, and I haven't discussed this with the board, so I'm taking liberty, but my guess is going to be that those parks that are used by the community are going to be protected.
Right, and so a park like this one, how would you
Yes.
assess that it's used by the community?
Yeah, well, it's in the middle. We know from just watching, right, from observation usage. So that is, I mean, it's a pocket park. We have a few tiny little pocket parks.
Mm-hmm.
There are pocket parks that are very impactful. It means that people are using them for trails, for picnicking, for playgrounds, et cetera.
Right.
We are getting ready to make an investment into Clear Lake Park, so we wouldn't be doing that if we didn't care about the park and didn't know that it was being used by the community. So if that helps your sense of it's going to be protected, I mean, I'm not going to speak for the board, but I will tell you that would be on our list of recommended, that it would be protected with many of our other parks.
Okay. And that's what I'd want for all, not just my area, but
Of
I know the
course.
value of it. So,
Yeah, and we're starting with our high-value flagship properties, and then, like I said, doing it iteratively, and then doing it very mindfully.
right. And do you have a time frame for end time frame for this? Or is it-
I would hope that we would be done, like I said, our next section of parks, we're trying to have done by the end of this fiscal year, and I would imagine that the rest of the properties we will go through, prioritize, and do another hearing before June of next year is my guess.
Okay, so by the end of a year from
A year from now, everything should be on the
either
list.
done or not
Yep,
done?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yes.
Thank you for
very
coming.
much. Yeah, thank you.
And again, on your comment on the Clear Lake playground, working on a new playground
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And there were some conceptual drawings, and the staff here went to kids and gave them little dots to pick which park features they liked the most. And there was one that all the kids liked, so.
Oh, good.
So
That's
we
good.
wanted to
And
take,
our
you know,
park,
community
they went
input.
to-
For a playground, who's your audience? Kids.
Yeah. Well, I put my 2 cents in, but I thought that was ridiculous. Okay, well, that's good. Well, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you for
taking the time for coming and presenting and caring.
Yeah,
We
and I
appreciate
didn't know
it.
you had a meeting earlier. I just knew about these 2 that you had. so.
Thank you. Is there any other members of the public who would like to make a comment? Seeing none, this concludes public comments from people who are in attendance tonight. I will now ask my fellow board members to each read, we're not going to read them in the interest of time because we've had some long presentations. Like I said, 24 of the 29 comments were fully supportive. 5 needed more info, but in general, of those 5, they weren't opposed. So with that, I'm going to close public session or public hearing. I'm closing public hearing. Thank you. Moving on. Now we're going to go to new business, and new business is, we did the public hearing. Now I'm looking for a motion to declare an equipment surplus.
I move that the Board of Directors of Highland Hills Park and Recreation District declare surplus the provided list of items and authorize staff to dispose of all items in a proper manner.
Second? I second. I'm just going. Discussion? Is this equipment being replaced with other equipment? And so it's a climbing system, treadmill, strider, it's equipment at Life Fitness.
Correct. Each of these items are at the fitness center.
Yeah.
And each of these equipment is past its life cycle. They're at least 10 years old. So they've kind of exceeded their life cycle. When we did our maintenance week, we kind of, a couple weeks ago, we kind of did an evaluation of the cardio deck especially to try and figure out the right spacing and everything. So we identified these pieces of equipment that already has duplicates on the cardio deck. So we elected to remove these pieces of equipment, and we will not be replacing them with new equipment. We're just going to help with our spacing issue on the cardio deck. Over time, other older pieces of equipment will replace them one for one, but this was just to kind of clear some space and get rid of equipment that's not used very often or we already have duplicates.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that overview.
Skylar, is this equipment sold or just,
Yeah, it goes on a public auction site, so it is sold. Yep.
Any other questions of Skylar? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Motion passes. Now we're moving on to Board of Directors Committee updates. The first committee to provide an update is the Bylaws and Policy Committee. Lori or Danny, would you like to provide an update?
We met this past week, and there is a section of the bylaws that we do want to bring forward to the board before we move forward with that. And also to have Allison look it over, and then we want the board's approval or if there's any other questions. So we'll be bringing that to you in a study session, and then we'll be moving on, and hopefully we'll wrap up the bylaws by the end of the year.
Excellent. Thank you for that update. Any questions of Lori or Danny? Next one, Mike, would you provide us an update on the Capital Projects Committee?
Sure. Again, Yvonne's executive report, covered a few of the items related to grants and the Water World project, but I'll just cover off on a couple other ones. Clear Creek Valley Bike Park. Plans have been sent to the county again for review. And then we should have some cost estimates here in June, but construction's about 5 years out for those improvements. Carol Butts, Phase 1, completed except for shelters. It should be finished this summer. Kamenish Park, 90% construction and cost estimates in July. Commissioners Park, working with Adams County on stormwater. Rotary Park, stormwater, permit approved, working on some others with the county. Should hopefully be done here in June, start construction once everything's been rechecked. Sherwood Park Sports Field, I'm working on answering questions from Adams County. Clear Lake Playground, again, I commented on that one earlier. And AGAR storage, nope, that was it. And that's it on the list for now.
Great, thank you, Mike. Sounds like you guys are busy. Okay,
Well, not us, staff is.
yes. Staff is very busy.
Yes.
The last committee that we have in place is the Finance Committee update. Do you want to provide that, or do you want me to?
I'll let you cover that one.
Okay. So the Finance Committee met on May 19th, and at that point in time, we went over the status of the 2026 bond issuance. It's going as planned. We have all the money in our bank account, so that's great. We can pay for that project now. We reviewed the audit that was presented to us tonight, and there's a lot of good work and hard work that went in from all parties, so very thankful for that. There are some banking and cash handling operation procedures, new deposit procedures, safe procedures to enhance our already very secure, safe cash procedures that we have in place. We have safes and vaults, and they're hard to get to. Plant Moran engagement, we're talking about engaging Plant Moran, and part of that engagement, we need to establish some materiality thresholds and what we want to do. So a few more to come on that. And then NACHA, which is an entity that controls ACH payments, there was new NACHA rules that came into place, and they just provided us an update. The finance team provided us an update and advised us of how we're going to comply with those. So we're doing well. So it was a busy meeting, and we're doing everything else. And then one other item.
I do have one thing to add that just came across my desk today, and that is that we were informed that we have been awarded the GFOA Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for our 24 audit, as well as the 23, which if the Finance Committee will remember was questionable because we kind of missed that filing with our previous situation. So all of those were reinstated. Thank you to Skylar, because Skylar did the legwork on saying, here's what happened in that year and would you can still consider us for the award. So they did consider us, but they did award us with that distinction. And so we are now unblemished for decades with receiving that report, and I expect we will get it as soon as Jill submits this year. So that was just really nice news to see, and Jill's got little medallions to put on her plaque, and we're good. So thanks.
So we had a full decade of award-winning financial statements.
Oh, we have multiple decades.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Probably why the bond issue was successful. So good work, everybody. Excellent. Okay. Those are the Board of Directors Committee updates. Now we have the ad hoc committees. A community partnership update. I'm not entirely certain. Is that?
We decided to roll Rotary and Foundation together for that update.
Okay. And so, Mr. Blair, would you like to provide us an update on those?
Yeah, Rotary just has their golf tournament coming up on Wednesday, the 17th, and I know Hyland Hills is supporting that with a foursome. So thank you for your support of the Rotary tournament.
Thank you. And I think then the other one is we have the Hyland Hills Foundation is having their golf tournament on July 17th, and we are looking for foursomes. As a reminder, the Hyland Hills Foundation raises money so that everyone in the district can afford recreational activities, and that their financial situation is not a barrier. So it's a good cause to support. Everyone get a team together. The next one is the lease committee update. Danny, is there any updates?
We don't really have any updates. We're just still waiting to hear from the court on the sandbagger lawsuit.
Thank you. They're going to take their time.
They are.
Lori and Mike, would you like to provide us an update on the Management Succession Committee update?
There's nothing to update at this time.
Excellent. None. Moving to our next item, Board of Directors open discussion item. Are there any items that the board would like to bring?
I would.
Okay.
Skylar, do we still try and get a grant, for, to stock the fish at Clear Creek Valley? Do we still do that? Are we doing that?
That was, I think, before Skylar's time,
Well,
right,
that was a
Skylar?
Terry
Yeah,
Barnhart
so that was a
thing.
Terry Barnhart thing. So we have not done that in recent years, but we certainly, I'm looking at the three gentlemen over there going, that'll be on our radar for next year.
Okay, yeah, I was asked, just because it was, people fish down there, and I had asked if we had stocked it lately, and I did not know. So,
And they weren't catching anything.
yeah, well, not
Tell
fish.
them to change their bait, try a different bait.
Right. Turtles, yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Any other items other board members would like to bring to our attention? Hearing none, we move to the board meeting action recap. I do not have any board meeting action items. Does anybody else? Zero. Then with that, we are adjourned. Excellent. I still have daylight to go on a walk.